Hey, what's up, everybody? Newton from Golf WRX here with Spencer Reynolds.
What's going on, BK? How are you, buddy?
Not much, man. I love it when we get together because usually, one, we have a great time.
Yes.
And two, it means new products.
You get new toys, so you always like hanging out.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not using you, I promise.
Yeah, right.
But we got a brand new product, or two, actually.
Two brand new products,
which is pretty exciting. So what we're looking at now is addition to the TR lineup.
Correct.
Ventus TR Black, Ventus TR Red.
You got it.
So two brand new models, not, just to make sure everybody's clear, we're not replacing anything from the Ventus line.
Correct.
Additional pieces. So what's going on with Ventus Black and Red?
So this is a line extension from the Ventus TR Blue, which we came out with earlier this year. And a lot of the technologies that we integrated into that profile have found their way into these two new profiles as well.
Gotcha.
So at Fujikura, we're always kind of this innovative state, right? And we're utilizing Enzo and Enzo Analytics. And when we integrate new technologies and new materials like we did in Ventus TR Blue, we always want to explore the option of putting that in other profiles as well. So we were really cognizant of the fact that we wanted to do it, but we wanted to make sure we did it right. And we wanted to make sure that the performance benefits and the changes that we made were better for players and we can see player performance. So with that adoption of TR Blue, which has been great, we had a major championship win, which we love to talk about. That's super great. But what we've basically done is we've integrated that same spread toe material in the mid-handle section of both of these new profiles. So you'll actually see that come through on the shaft just like you did with TR Blue. And a little bit in the same sense of TR Blue is TR Blue is a little bit of a tweener for players, right? It wasn't quite Ventus Blue and it wasn't quite Ventus Black. It was sort of like a Ventus Blue a little bit on steroids with some enhanced stiffness and stability. And that's a little bit where these pieces fall as well. So we can start by talking about the red. That would be a lower launching, lower spinning, sort of stiffer profile of an original Ventus Red. So similar overall feel, but some performance changes, some tweaks here and there, and again, just kind of filling that gap for players to get more dialed in on product. And we move into the Ventus TR Black, and that's kind of the beast, right? So we took our Ventus Black profile, which is our lowest launching, lowest spinning profile, and we kind of kicked it up a notch. So integrating that spread toe material actually makes a tremendous amount of sense in a profile like Black, because what we find in Enzo Analytics is the shaft takes on a tremendous amount of stress in the transition and downswing, especially in this section. And when we see players with a really aggressive transition, a strong move at the golf ball, we're reinforcing that section that much more. So this is our lowest launching, lowest spinning, stiffest profile of the entire Ventus lineup. And when you look at Ventus now as a full family, like you said, we're not replacing anything. We basically just broadened it to a 6-profile family, and we feel really confident there's a Ventus for every player out there.
I think I agree, and one of the big things, still has Velo Core.
Absolutely.
Still on all three of them, blue, red, black.
All three of them, and the material is located in the same section in all three. That's sort of mid-handle section. That carries over into each profile. But you're exactly right. We found that Velo Core technology is our best basis for stability, for performance, accuracy. Everything just gets dialed in, so this is just taking it one step further. And getting into it, what is just, I know it's probably way more complicated than what we're going to talk about, but kind of what is spread toe? Because I know, like I said, talked about it in TR Blue. It's now in these two shafts as well. Seems to be a common thing, a big thing. So what is spread toe exactly? So spread toe is one of the most exciting things that we have going on right now in carbon fabrics. The way that the material is integrated allows for a lot of tension and stress and strength. So anytime that material gets stressed or pulled, it's that much stronger. And the benefit of spread toe, it's a super lightweight material. So we can enhance stiffness and we can enhance torsional stability in very specific sections of a shaft without affecting overall weight in a negative way. So we get this super light, super strong material, and we can shift it and move it around wherever it makes the most sense. And we found that area really dialed it in for these profiles. Perfect. Well, let's hit a few, because I want to see you hit it. Let's hit a few. You got it.
All right, Spencer, so here we are out on the range. Ventus TR Red.
Let's start with red.
So we're going to start with that. I was a big fan of red, the original red, or the current Ventus Red. So something that I think would be a little familiar to me, but start with that one here. Even though I'm a Golf WRXer, I don't think I'm quite as much of a black guy as some of the others, but take a look here. Right off the bat, it's Ventus smooth. Like there's no harsh vibration, anything like that. It's easy to load, you can feel it load. But the interesting thing is that a little different feel from red. It's definitely, like you said, a little more reinforced. It does feel a little more tighter than the original red in a sense. I don't want to say stiffer because I think that has a bad rap, but it does have a little more stouter feel.
Well, it's interesting. When we talk about stiffness, we kind of think about it in two parts. We talk about bending stiffness for sure, which is just kind of that idea of how much the shaft's going to flex. But with the TR parts, we talk a lot about torsional stiffness. And that's a lot of what you feel is we are sort of increasing torque or stiffening torque in very specific sections of shafts, and that's where it just kind of feels, as players tell us, this feels a little tighter. Dispersion feels tighter, feels a little bit more crisp, a little tighter, but you make a good point. It's not just, you know, bending stiffness and making it stiffer for stiffness sake.
Yeah.
It's actually targeting sections to bring out specific feels.
No, I agree. And it's, like I said, it's still got that red smoothness. You can still feel it load. It just, yeah, it's not quite as, like I said, it just has that little tighter feel.
It's good on that.
And I do have to say, it almost, I think for some players, it's going to feel like it's a little harder to turn over.
Yeah.
You know, compared to the original Red, which I know a lot of the bigger swingers, whatever, may say, well, if it's not low launch, low spin, I don't want anything to do with it. I think this is something that, you know, the bigger hitter is going to actually really enjoy, especially if they need a little height.
Yeah.
Because it still gets up in the air. It is a little lower than original Red.
Correct.
But it is still really smooth and really easy to hit. I mean, I like the feel of it. Really.
Love that.
And you know me, I mean, I've always been a stiffer handle section guy.
Sure.
And this still has that, you know, stout handle that Red had.
Yeah, it can hang in there.
Even with my poor tempo. I mean, even that, a little toey, still not bad. And really, I mean, numbers-wise, we're hitting range balls, so these can't be 100%, but, I mean, really, even with that miss, it's still pretty darn good.
I'd play that ball.
Yeah.
I'd play that ball for sure.
All right, let's hit one more, and then we'll try out the old black. See if I can hit one kind of straight before the police come.
That's all you had to say, apparently.
That's right. I just had to have the
yeah, the sirens really just put you in
police
in
come
next
after
gear.
me. So that's on the berm at the end of the range. I think that's pretty good.
Good shot. Let's switch it up.
All right, Spencer. So here we go. Ventus TR Black.
Changing gears.
Changing gears, and I know we all go into golf shops and we do the little waggle test. Not a lot of waggle here.
Not a lot of waggle
This is,
that is accurate.
This is definitely pretty stout.
Yeah.
So this is not, this is low launch, low spin.
Correct.
But this is definitely firm.
It is.
Let's put it that way. I can notice it right before I even swing it. Okay. It's pretty firm. A little bit right, which I would expect.
Yeah.
This definitely takes it takes a little more force to turn it over. But again, it's not crazy harsh.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's not, I mean, you get into a lot of these really stiff shafts, and sometimes you lose some of that feel. You get kind of harsh, you get a little vibration to it. Still really smooth.
Yeah.
I mean,
and, you know, we talk a lot about when you look at a TR Black profile that we're sort of targeting players that like to feel minimal flex, minimal movement, shaft in during the swing. But having said that, even with speed, you're going to feel some flex. And what we want to do is create a part that has stiffness and stability. It doesn't feel like absolute rebar.
Yeah.
And it's a tough line to walk when you start to get to that end of the spectrum. But that's cool to hear you say that yes, it does have some feel to it, and that's definitely one of our goals is, you know, some of the best players in the world are feel players.
Yeah.
And even when they want to take certain things out, they still like to have some awareness of what's going on with the golf course.
And I do say, I mean, ultra stable. I mean, the shaft just doesn't, I mean, the head always feels like it's right there. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's moving anywhere in the swing. And again, I think this, you know, shaft is not necessarily me, but I understand where the players who will use it will like, you know, the feel of it. I mean, and that's a terrible toe miss right there. And that's almost dead straight.
Yeah.
Definitely not as far as Red. I didn't get it up on the berm.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was way out here. And that's still, I mean, just stability-wise, again, kind of crazy how straight that went. I did not expect that ball to go there.
Velo core technology, baby.
it's a
Keeping
savior.
it square at impact. That's what it's all about.
That's right. But no, like I said, this one definitely, I mean, it's much harder to load. I mean, on the downswing, I mean, and especially for me, you're not feeling it load as much.
Yeah.
But again, for the really high-speed players, I think, you know, you're really going to like the feel and still get that real kind of stiff and stable feel that you want.
And it is definitely targeted more towards that player that.
There's turning it over, but that's all me. That's
you really
that's me trying to turn it over.
It definitely is geared towards the player, you know, that either has a really aggressive transition on the way into the downswing, or just kind of, you know, what we call tour-like ball speeds. People with just a lot of speed.
And let's say, in general, compared to Ventus Black, the original one, kind of launch and spin, is this going to be a little lower? Is this going to be in between? A little bit lower? Okay. So yeah, if you're somebody who played black and for some reason that launched too high,
right?
this
we got something for you.
And it's got a beautiful
It's
beautiful
great.
finish.
It's great. We did that on the paint scheme with all 3 of the TR parts. You see that it's more of a metallic flake. It's got a little sparkle in the sun. You can see the exposed material. They look great. They perform great. We're super proud of them, and we're excited to get them in everybody's hands.
Yeah, this thing is definitely a beast, but I know we had a lot of people watching who are big swingers.
You're going to have some fans.
They're going to enjoy this one.
I promise.
All right, Spencer. Great day on the range here.
Always.
Hitting brand new products.
Yes, sir.
So again, Ventus Red, profile is what? Little higher launch? You got it.
So anything in the TR family, if you want to compare it to its original counterpart, is going to be reduced launch, reduced spin, and a little bit stiffer. That's just kind of the Reader's Digest version. But what I will say is what we always say is that, especially now with 6 full profiles, it is imperative to see a qualified fitter, see which profile works best for you, dial it in that much better. And, you know, that's our goal here, is to make players better. And if we can do that with more options, we're down.
That's right. So when are these going to be at your authorized dealers?
So we'll start having these end of August, about August 22nd. It's going to be our retail date. You'll start seeing them. And, yeah, I think guys are going to be excited, and we're excited to bring it to them.
I'm super excited as well. I would say I'm going to give these back to you.
But
I'm not.
That's right.
So, yeah, guys, go fujikuragolf.com. Check out the new Ventus TR.
Please do.
All 3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, super excited to get these out on the course. And thanks again, man.
Thanks,
Appreciate
BK.
you coming by with
man,
new toys.
Anytime.
All right, guys. We'll see you later.
Take care.